All right. Well, we've got folks listening online. I'm going to thank you very much for joining us and attending, and want to get into the presentation a bit. So I know that you're able to see the screen here. This is all about the magic of Colombia. And Sun Tours has taken out space on the May 28th through June 7th departure. It'll be on board our brand new ship that's still even being built, the Ama Magdalena. And it's going to sail and will be from Barranquilla to Cartagena. However, there are some things that will happen before you get started in the land portion. Now, I also want to just share a bit about AMA Waterways. AMA really is a great brand that was a bit different than, and is a bit different than our competitors, and that were family owned and operated. Rudy and Kristen and Jimmy Murphy, who started it over 22 years ago, really wanted to create a cruise experience that guests would fall in love with, that they themselves would want to take, that provided exceptional service and had incredible cuisine and had almost everything included. And so with that, they developed and started AMA Waterways. And we are sailing around the globe. We're in Europe. We really concentrate on Europe, but we're also in Africa, on the Chobe. We're in Asia, as you just mentioned, sir. You and your lovely wife traveled on the Mekong between Cambodia and Vietnam. We're in Egypt on the Nile. And starting this year, we're going to be on the Colombia's Magdalena River, which is what this little chat is all about. Now, the company has also felt like we're innovative. We love to lead the way in many different areas. If you wanted to see a video by one of our captains that talks about sustainability, you can do that by going to our website. And the sustainability factors that we're doing to eliminate single-use plastics, that we're finding biodegradable fuels, we're finding alternative power methods, we're adding solar. There's just so many different things we're doing that makes us a leader in that area. We're all about health and wellness and your well-being. We're also about innovative with our ships and the way they're designed and giving you space. And we brought pickleball on board. I don't know if you all play pickleball or not, but we have pickleball on our ship, the Ama Magna. Now, when I talk about space, when you think about the amount of footprint space that you require and need to be comfortable, we give you more footprint space than our competitors do. From our twin balcony, which is a design by Rudy, to our suites, you're going to find that we have the most expansive bathrooms, personal space of any other brand. As I mentioned, wellness, and even pickleball. We also have wellness coaches and instructors on board every ship, and that's their only job. They're not waiting tables other times. Their only job is to be there for your well-being. And they do yoga at sunrise. Now, congratulations to those of you that want to do yoga at sunrise. The only way I'm doing yoga at sunrise is with a mimosa in my hand. It's just not going to happen otherwise. But I'll applaud you. I'll sit and watch. But they also have gyms on board every vessel. And if you needed strength training, some stretching, maybe you have physical therapy going on here at home and you don't want to miss out on that, our coaches there are able to do that for you as well. I love the fact that our excursions are all included. Out of 550 of them, 549 are all included. There's no extra cost. There's not going to be any extra cost on any of the excursions that you'll want to take on this trip either. And really, when I talk about it, you've got a variety of excursions to even choose from. And then you can do multiple excursions in a day, and they're all included. Now, we also offer a really neat aspect, and that is our sip and sail cocktail parties. I know some folks have sailed with us. There's a couple that are sitting here watching live in the room with me, and they've sailed with us before. I know that you probably experienced that. But while we include craft beers and wines from the region, so you're going to get South American, maybe Chilean wines and things like that, but there's going to be some really unique things that we're going to include at every meal. But then in the evening, you can enjoy a complimentary cocktail celebration each night for about 90 minutes before dinner. And that's where the martinis, the Manhattans, the old fashions, you name the drink, is all available for you complimentary. Our cuisine is really unique. The luxury and the expertise of our chefs is really unmatched. Now, there are two organizations. You can see the logos here on the screen, the Table Auberge, as well as the Chain d'Hôtellerie, and they are both by invitation only competition organizations. and they invite chefs to come and compete. And our chefs have not only done that, but they either have won one or the other, or they've won both. And so that is really unique. There are no freezers on board our ships except for ice cream and ice cubes. And there are no microwaves on board the ship, so nothing is fast prepped. Everything is the freshest. It's procured fresh daily. You can go with the chef to the farmer's market, the meat and fish markets, but everything is hand selected, hand prepared, and it really makes a difference. And when we get into this itinerary, I'm going to share some things with you about that as well. So let's talk about this itinerary. Colombia's Magdalena River, it's embarking in 2025, and it's going to be an outstanding itinerary. Now, we're going to give you a land package. Going with Sun Tours and Pleasure Bent, you're going to have the opportunity to do a pre-cruise package. It's all part of the package they're putting together. It's going to start in Medellin, and you'll end in Cartagena. So as we look at it, here's the way your Medellin package will start. You'll arrive, you'll be transferred from the airport to the hotel. You'll get a hotel check-in and a chance to kind of see and feel the city a little bit that evening. Then there's a full day coffee tour and tasting. Then you have a Medellin city tour, and then the flight to Barranquilla, and then you embark the vessel. Now, let's talk about that aspect. And when you look at this itinerary in its entirety, Barranquilla and where it goes on to Nueva Valencia, and I'm going to talk about each of these ports. I'm going to give you some insights about each one. You're really going to have an incredible opportunity, but you can see by the map here that you're starting the cruise in Barranquilla at the north end and going southbound. And it really is going to take a big dip turn and head back westward. Now, let's get involved with the ship. The Ama Magdalena is a brand new vessel, 60 guests, 30 staterooms, really small, really intimate. There will be a brand new dining experience on this ship that you're never going to see anywhere else. And it is going to be unique to the destination of South America. Many of the foods on board are going to be regionally inspired by Latin American, and they're also going to have your Western favorites. So don't feel like it's all going to be just South American intensive to where you don't have other choices. You definitely will. Now, that in addition, the dining and during the cruise, you can also expect that we're going to provide for you a full-on, and we're going to use the towns and villages we're in, but we're going to do a full-on carnival experience that is going to be just for you, our AMA guests. No one else is going to get to experience it or have it. It's going to happen year-round, even outside of typical carnival, but it's going to be an experience that you don't want to miss. Now, let's jump into Barranquilla. Now, Barranquilla, and let me go back, if I can, for just a moment and talk about Medellin and give you some insight of that city. It is the second largest city in Colombia. It's also been named the most innovative city in the world by the Urban Land Institute. In 2013, they gave them that designation for what these folks were doing with their innovations in technology, in culture, in agriculture. It was just overall an amazing emphasis that this city was having on expanding city life. And so it really became a must-see and a must-visit town. Due to the great soil and the climate of Medellin, they also have the most exceptional coffees in the world. It really is unique. It was certified by the Rainforest Alliance. You're going to get coffee that has hints of chocolate and berry and caramel. As you know, Colombian coffee is where most of us get our coffee when we buy it in the grocery store. But you're going to have a chance to see these farms and these harvesting areas and experience on a coffee tour things that you just wouldn't get otherwise. Firsthand, right fresh, it's going to be amazing. One other usual thing, and I know that somebody was talking earlier with this couple that they've got some concerns with walking. They have outdoor escalators that are electronic escalators that take you through the city, and all the locals use it. So it's going to save you from having to walk even more. So it really is going to be unique from that experience. One of the most intriguing aspects is that you can experience a different fruit. I was sharing this with Melissa earlier when I got here, that there are over 368 different fruits grown right here in Medellin. So you could try a different fruit every day and never have the same fruit twice. How cool is that? You'll also have the opportunity to do a tasting of anise. It's a sip kind of little tasting experience, but where you are situated, you're going to have a great vantage point to overlook the Andes Mountains. It's going to be spectacular. So let's move on then to the first port of call during the cruise. Once you've finished with your 3 days in Medellin, we then have you fly to Barranquilla, and that is where you'll board the vessel. It's a vibrant city. It's home to some of the most notable musicians, writers, artists, and it was declared too by UNESCO as a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage of humanity. What that is a completely immersive experience in a carnival type atmosphere, but still it's a presentation and a show all at the same time. The Carnival of Barranquilla is one of the most important folkloric celebrations you'll ever want to see and experience. Now, they have a motto there. They're probably going to teach it to you. It's a little chant, and they have it in Spanish. I can't say it in Spanish, but I'll give it to you in English. Their motto is this: those who live it are those who enjoy it. And they're probably going to teach that to you over and over again. So kind of get that in your minds now. And if you get there and they ask you, anybody know what our motto is? You can raise your hand and go, I know what it is. It's those who live it are those who enjoy it. So you'll get to certainly enjoy Barranquilla. The next day, you're on to Nueva Venecia. And this is a home of stilt houses. This little village means New Venice. And all of these stilt homes are really unique to this area. There's you only can access this area by boat. You're also going to find really interesting architecture. The flora and fauna here is unsurpassed. The warmth and the charm of Colombia comes through here. The villagers are warm and welcoming, very safe. And you'll want to take note because the fishermen here have a fishing style and a technique that is not seen anywhere else in the world, and they're going to show it off to you. So you really want to be able to experience and witness that firsthand. The next day, you're on to Santa Barbara de Pinto, and here it's the morning visit. You're going to only be in this little Santa Barbara village for the morning. It's the locale in an area that is an island surrounded by the arm of the Magdalena. So it's its own little island. It was founded in 1540. Quickly became a Spanish trading post. And what also makes it unique is some of the finest and most intricate handmade arts and crafts are going to be found here. So if you want to do some shopping, this might be the place to do that too. Okay. Then in the afternoon, you're on to Mampo. And in Mampo, this is really unique because time stands still. It was founded in 1540, but they have not changed it since colonial times. And so with that being said, it has gained a designation of a UNESCO World Heritage status, and they haven't changed it since that time period. Now, farmers, and they are really unique with their farming styles there as well. But other things that are known in this town is the filigree jewelry. So you might want to do some shopping here. But the settlers hoarded the gold and the goods they found. They were able to hide them from pirates. And they then started making this wonderful filigree jewelry with this hoarded gold and this other elements that they have put together from natural gems and stones. It's really unique. Also here are some really colonial churches that are outstanding that will really maybe kind of raise your interest. Definitely picture worthy in Mampo. El Banco is a wonderful celebration town. You can see by these women dancing in the parade. It is located at the intersection of the Magdalena and the Cesar rivers. Unfortunately, this town suffered devastation again and again and again, repeated destruction, whether it was weather or it was pillagers. In 1749, though, however, they rebuilt the entire city right on its ashes. And so you can almost see the beginnings and the old foundations and what is there today. believe it or not, a slave that was freed, a black slave, kept a statue of the Virgin Mary and hand carried her all the way from where they were held captive to this little town where he set up his home. And then you combine that with this being the home of the Virgin of Candelaria, and it now becomes a very important religious town. And so for that, it has gained notoriety and of great importance. So if that is your faith, by all means, you might find this extremely interesting. Now, when you move on from El Banco, we go to this little town, and it's pronounced Magag or Magang. And it really doesn't look like that's the way you'd pronounce this at all. But I've checked with 3 people and they told me yes. Now somebody else might come along and go, no, and I'm willing to be corrected. But with what I have learned, this is pronounced Magang. And the wildlife and the birds and the flora and the fauna, your pictures, your camera won't stop. I'm just telling you that now. This is where you really want to immerse yourself in this culture. It's an opportunity to do so. The unique birds make this their home. There's other reptiles. There's just some really cool wildlife here. There are some very unique things that you're only going to find here as well, and unlike anywhere else in Colombia or in South America. Do take advantage, though. One of your tour options that day is going to be taking a hike through Senegal. If you're able to do a hike at all, that would be something well worth your while and your consideration. So Magang definitely is worthy for that. Now, going on the next day is Calamar, and look at this cute little tricycle. The driver sits up front. The back seat bench will accommodate 2 people, and it is called a Paulo. And you get to take a tour, and one of your excursions can be sitting and relaxing and letting the driver drive you through the entire region, and you can experience the wonders and the joys of Calamar by riding in the back of this little Paulo. There's going to be a number of historical sites that they will drive you through. This whole little town is located at the entrance of the Canal de Dique. And it's a Spanish little village. And the canal is also the mouth that then takes you, if you followed it all the way, out to sea. This town was settled in 1840, so it too is very old and has great history. And it's just a town that's well worth just immersing into South American culture. In Cartagena, this is where your cruise will end. And this city, I have been there myself. It's one of the few in South America I have visited. It's a coastal city. The Spaniards flocked here in the 1600s. There are tales, whether or not they're true, and that's why we call it a tale, that many of the indigenous leaders had gold in their tombs. And so people that came after raided the tombs and then hoarded the gold and turned this, by using the gold for trade, into a thriving port city. So that is just one of the neatest things about Cartagena. It's a walled fortress. You can visit that during one of your excursions as well. There will be time here for you to have free time and downtime, but it's really well worth visiting and experiencing. The colors of the buildings are also beautiful. They use a lot of these pastel blues and yellows that make it just vibrant and so South American, so rich with that culture and that feel. I love that vibe. So that would be the amount of your itinerary. And for that, then we want to give you an opportunity to say yes in joining Sun Tours, coming on their excursion with them. And if you do, and you can book this in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to give you a bit of an extended amount of time to get this accomplished. We're going to say thank you for coming to the presentation today. You guys came in person. We've got folks watching online, but we're going to give you a $200 stateroom savings. So if you can make your decision by June the 5th, we'll say that we want to share that appreciation and making that commitment, making your deposit. We'll give you a $200 savings. And it's exclusive. Obviously, this whole trip is exclusive to Sun Tours, Pleasure Bent, and AMA. do I have any questions? Do you folks have any questions for me sitting here live with me? Not at the moment. Okay. I don't know how to take questions from the gallery that's here watching. Is there a way to come on over, Megan? Help me out.
If there would be any questions, you guys can unmute and talk if you want, or you can enter them in the chat if there's any questions. Okay. Well,
That's
if
all
you
right.
guys have any questions, you can always call us at the office here. Our number is 505-889-8888. Yeah, and we're here for you guys if you need anything.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, folks, we so appreciate you coming and joining us. And just know that AMA Waterways truly loves to share the heart of the river with you. We believe we are the heart of the river. And so with that, we will kind of end with one, if I can get it up. There we go. We'll end with that beautiful picture of this hummingbird and these beautiful South American flowers. They're a snapdragon, I believe, which is very famous there. But we are the heart of the river. The story will continue, of course, but come join us. Give the folks at Sun Tours a call and love to have you. Thanks.